everybody. It's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I'm sorry, I'm 15 minutes late. I'm sorry, and I hate being late for when I announce my lives. But our weekend reality review video was a little bit late. We had a good time talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, so that's why I was a little bit over. But I'm here to talk about the homecoming. Hey, Inga, thank you for coming back over. Y'all were right. Y'all were in my ass. Y'all was hitting up them emails. Y'all was hitting up them DMs like, Angie, girl, when are you watching? We need the review. What you got to say? So I am here to tell you all my opinion for episode 1 of the Real World Homecoming, New Orleans. I feel like I need to binge watch that season. I should have did it. A lot of y'all told me y'all did it, but I felt like, oh, they're going to show us the clips, so it's going to refresh my memory. I got to watching this. I said, I don't even remember half the people on this cast. But episode 1 was spicy. It made me love Melissa. Melissa had the statement of the episode for me. I'm not creating a grudge. I'm creating a boundary. And I'm here for the boundaries of fuck Julie. I'm here for it. But let's get into episode 1. Hey, Taj. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm getting ready to cut this stuff out on Friday. I've held on to this style for a good 6 weeks. I know my stylist said it could last for 3 months, but I can't. I'm over it. You just watch the whole season. That's what I gotta do. I've been working in the office, Inga, so I could put it on and watch it at my desk. I might do that this week. Because I need to watch. But I feel like most of the drama is stuff that happened after the show. But we'll see. Hey, Eric. Hey, Dabu. Yes, girl. It's season 9 on Paramount Plus. Thank you. Now, at the beginning of it, they said Vegas and Hawaii happened before New Orleans. No, it was Seattle and Hawaii happened right before New Orleans. And I'm hoping MTV, y'all don't jump over those 2 seasons. I would love to see Tech, Ruthie, and all of them come back together for Hawaii. And I definitely want to see old girl come back. I can't even remember the guy's name that slapped her. But I would like to see closure about that slap as well. So don't just jump over Seattle and jump over Hawaii. Like, okay, New Orleans is cute. But don't forget about those 2 as well when we're talking about the homecomings. Oh, I'm about to read Julie. Because, hey, Zuda, y'all was warning me. Y'all was like, Julie is a mess. And I was like, damn, I really like Julie. Like, I really don't remember New Orleans. But I do remember Julie from the challenge. And I've always liked Julie. And I hate when I have to look back on somebody that I liked and then be like, I ain't feeling this bitch. That's how I feel about Julie. I feel like we just need to change her name to Karen and put an example. Like, y'all want to know what a Karen is, go ahead and look at episode 1 of Homecoming, New Orleans, and look at Julie. And you get all the Karen you need. But let's see. First, we start off with Come On Be My Baby Tonight. They done played that shit on every commercial. Every time I watch Paramount Plus, I hear Come On Be My Baby Tonight. And that shit is in my head. Go ahead and make it a single, Tokyo, since we can't call you David no more. Tokyo. Lord have mercy. Go ahead and make it a single because the shit in my head and I can't stop singing the shit because every time they play that shit. Okay, his name was Steven in Seattle. Not Irene. Steven slapped Irene. We need some closure on that. Go ahead. Maybe Steven doesn't want to be seen as a black man who slaps a white woman in 2022. Maybe he doesn't want to revisit that. He's like, no, if they ain't seen it back in 2000, that came on 98, I believe they said. If they ain't seen it in 98, they ain't going to see it in 2002. I ain't mad at you, Steven, for that because people will drag you all over Twitter once they see that slap again. But the slap was iconic. You had to be born. You had to be around in 98 to see the slap, because I don't think Steven wants to be known today for slapping Irene. Though Irene deserved to be slapped. Though I don't advocate violence, and I definitely don't advocate violence on women, men on women. But let's move on. Yes, he opened the door and slapped the shit out of Irene. But this ain't got nothing to do with Irene. Let's get into what New Orleans and what mess they got going. I took notes. We get a montage, everybody pack in with their children. For these people to be my age, because they should all be 40, maybe, they should all be 40, maybe 43 like me. They all have a lot of little ass kids. So they all had children later in life. Congratulations. It just couldn't be me. Like, I like being an empty nester, and I know I did shit backwards. Maybe I had my son too young, but I like being an empty nester, and I can't imagine being 40 with little kids. But to each their own, to each their own. But everyone had a beautiful family. I love seeing the kids. First, we saw Melissa. I said for this to be 22 years later, Melissa looks exactly the same. She looks great. Oh, excuse me. Melissa admitted that being a person of color, she's Black and Filipino. So I'm just going to say Black, because person of color be tripping me up. But as a Black woman on television back in that day, she felt like she didn't do enough with the platform. She didn't speak out enough. Melissa, I don't fault you for that, because back when this came on in 2000, I don't think MTV would have allowed that kind of platform. I don't think we were that progressive in 2000 for you to be the only Black woman on television on that season doing whatever you wanted to do. But I don't fault you for that. You were in your 20s. This is a show about teenagers and young 20s having a good time in the house. You know, even though we saw Heather and Kevin up in New York, they were also older than what the other seasons have. Up next, we see Danny. Danny is the one who had the military boyfriend. I said, Danny looked good too. Danny looked good as hell. He got finer. He looks better than his younger self. So I was like, okay, I'm here for Danny. Then we see Julie. And in my notes, I said, oh, Julie looks good too. Everybody looks great. But then I changed my mind about Julie once she started crying, because once she got that frown face, all her wrinkles came out. She looks good, happy. But once Julie got to frowning, I said, oh, I see all the 22 years right there. And then Julie is going on some kind of bandwagon about, oh, I know I need to apologize, but I just don't know how to apologize. Girl, you don't know how to say you sorry at 40-something years old? If it's a sincere, all you do is open up your mouth and say, I know I did X, Y, Z. I apologize. So from that moment when Julie first got on the stage talking about, I know I owe some apologies, but I don't know how, I knew Julie was finna be full of shit. I knew it from the very beginning. I agree. Steven would be canceled today. That's why I don't think they may ever do Seattle. But go ahead and let us see Tech and Ruthie in them, because I don't even remember who else was in the house besides Tech and Ruthie, but I would like to revisit it. Melissa is funny. Melissa is funny. Agree. Age like fine wine. I agree with all your comments about Melissa. So up next, we get Tokyo. And in my notes, I wrote David because I didn't know how serious he was about being called Tokyo. Like, he checking people. They be like, hey, David, Tokyo. Like, sir. For all these years we knew David. Just in the past 5 seconds, you introduced yourself to Tokyo as Tokyo. Please give us time to adjust our brains, sir. Like, and then at first, everyone was like, oh, we just going to respect him for wanting to be Tokyo. We ain't going to ask no questions. Angie would have asked a question off rip. Like, sir, why are we calling you Tokyo and your name is David? David has completely changed. He looks a little bit weird to me. I was a little bit shady in the beginning, like what the fuck he got on. But throughout the episode, as David started to speak and explain his life journey and why he wants to be called Tokyo, I said respect. I respect it. Now in my notes, Angie done wrote David all throughout the notes. But by episode 2, I will try my best to write Tokyo so I could call him Tokyo. But I just think that's crazy. But to each their own. To each their own. Now, in the rewatch of David's clips, it looked like ain't nobody like David. They was like, if I ain't see David again another day in my life, I don't give a fuck. I'm tired of David. But as soon as he came into the house, everyone gave him the best embrace. And I appreciated that. So I liked it. Next, we have Matt. Matt is some kind of advocate for abstinence. Great. I guess he got married and popped out 6 kids. Congratulations. And I feel like we need more people to promote abstinence. Like, we don't even talk about abstinence anymore in 2022. Like, it could just be me. It's just my parenting. I ain't saying I'm definitely not the parenting expert. But I didn't even talk to my son about abstinence. I just always said, use a condom. Please. Just use a condom. And I remember he going to be mad at me for telling this story. But the summer before he went off to college, which would have been last summer, we were out hanging out, doing whatever, just having a good time. And I was like, when you get home, you need to start washing your clothes. And so he started washing his clothes. And for whatever reason, we were in the laundry room at the same time. And then, ploop, a whole box of open condoms, not a closed box, but open condoms, fell out of one of his pockets. And I just was like, okay. And I was just happy that with whatever he was doing, he was using a condom. But we do need more people to talk to our children about abstinence, because it ain't nothing wrong with waiting. It ain't nothing wrong with waiting. But David was an asshole. See, I don't remember. All I remember is that "Come on, be my baby tonight." But David looked good. I ain't remember him having all the muscles. I ain't remember all them damn do-rags. I'm going to do what you said, Inga, at work. I'm just going to play it at my desk so I could be refreshed, because they not refreshing me the way I need to be refreshed. It isn't that Julie can't apologize. She doesn't think she's done anything wrong. Then if you ain't did nothing wrong, you shouldn't be sitting at home feeling like you need to apologize. Julie said that, not me. Julie is the one who said, I know I need to apologize. I just don't know how. If you didn't think you did anything wrong, then you shouldn't be thinking you need to apologize. I'm about to read Julie, because let's move on. Because Julie really pissed me off. And it wasn't that she really pissed me off. It's just the Karen of it all. Like, I saw it. I said, oh, not the white lady tears. Oh, not let's rub Julie's hand when she done fucked these 2 people over. And I'm mad she got the black man. You will see once you see the season he was an asshole. He probably was. I just don't remember. Zuda, you could never do 6 children. I couldn't either. I couldn't either. I don't want to say I don't like kids like that, but I don't like a lot of kids like that. I can't imagine having 6 children running around my house working my last nerve. The one works it enough. The one. But anyway, I saw that. Irene did tweet that Chris Rock now has the award for the best slap on TV. So Irene, I feel like, is joking. Like, that was 24 years ago. I feel like Irene kind of she knows how to laugh at it, and I'm sure she's let that go. I'm sure she's let it go. But it's different when it's been 24 years. You got a whole new generation of people who love to this new generation love to cancel people. it's different for that to be seen again. And whew. But let's move on. Who came in next? Jamie. All I remember he said was shot me. I definitely don't remember him on the show. But I said he looked good, just a little salt and pepper. Like this cast aged well. They all look fucking good, except for Julie when she started crying. So I forgot the girl Kelly. Kelly ain't in my notes. Kelly came in at some point. Oh, Kelly only had a little section of notes. Kelly came in. Kelly looked good. I definitely don't remember Kelly, but I said she dresses like a boss. Melissa said everybody knows Scott Wolf, and Kelly is married to Scott Wolf. And I said, Melissa, I don't know Scott Wolf. I don't know him at all. So I'm not impressed that that's her husband. But moving on from Kelly. Julie comes in last, for the dramatics. She comes in, she already crying, hugging, like, I can't believe you're hugging me. But you notice who didn't hug Julie's ass? Melissa. I don't even want to call her a bitch, because I like to say the word bitch just in general, not really to talk down to nobody. But I love a bitch who stands in what the fuck she says and how she feels. And with Melissa, I can already tell Melissa is a real one. It ain't no fakeness in her. Melissa don't have an ounce of fake. It's been 22 years. She could have came on there and hugged Julie just out of the nostalgia of it all. Like, oh, Julie, I ain't seen you in 22 years. I know we got some issues. We'll get to it. She said, bitch, hey, you in the house, hey. I ain't got shit to say to you until you apologize, and then I still ain't gonna say shit to you after that. I respect Melissa's realness, because a lot of people would have got on this fucking TV and faked it for the cameras and would have, oh, hey, Julie. So, in my notes, before we got into the tears of it all, I said it's been 22 years. Are y'all really holding on to Julie messing with your little college speaking engagements money 22 years ago? Now, when it comes to money, people can hold on to a grudge. You play with my money. I'm trying to think if I would still hold on to that. Let me quit being fake on my own channel. It's some cousins out there. They know who they is. That still owe me some coins. And I don't hate them. I don't treat them any different. But in my mind, I'm like, Melissa, there's a boundary. We cousins, we could kiki, have a good time at the family reunion, all that. But don't ask me for nothing else. You can't even ask me to borrow $5 if I didn't give you a chunk of change and you ain't paid it back by now. It's some cousins that owe me money from 10 years ago. There is a boundary. You cannot ask me for nothing else. So I guess I answer my own question. When it comes to money and people fuck you over with money, it is mentally in your brain. There's a line. I might not cuss you out every time I see you. I might not even act funny, but there's a line. So I'm not mad at Melissa. I'm not mad at, Lord, I done forgot everybody's name that fast. I'm not mad at Danny for being pissed at Julie. And I'm definitely not mad at Melissa for not giving her a hug. Finally, somebody asked David, why you gotta be called Tokyo? It has something to do with, he liked Japanese writings and stuff, so they nicknamed him Tokyo. Great. Okay, we got that out the way. I don't care. I still think it's weird, but, and I feel like if it's your writing name, why are you forcing everyone to call you Tokyo if it's just a name that you write under? Like, we could still call you David. But we, in 2022, we respect people's choices and we call them what they want to be called. So Tokyo, it is. You ain't never lied, Eric. You ain't never lied. But let's move on, because I ain't gonna call nobody name, but they know the line. They know the line. But anyway, Julie and Melissa, I guess at the end of the season, were supposed to run off and be roommates in LA. They were best friends by the end of New Orleans. They sitting in here arguing about, well, girl, you ain't moved to LA, you moved to Orange County. Girl, no, I moved to LA and I saw you in LA. I ain't never seen you in LA. I said, I know y'all ain't arguing about this. When it's deeper stuff. I don't care. LA and Orange County sound the same to me. So let's move on from that. Okay, I done said that shady stuff already. So let's get into it. At the end of the day, Melissa is like, let's put it on the table. I ain't got time to be fake. You owe me an apology. You mess with my money. Now, Julie is talking about, I don't understand why you don't even like me. I don't even understand why you mad. And I'm like, girl, didn't you watch that season of the challenge that they kicked your ass off first? And Melissa said, bitch, I don't fuck with you. You wrote some letters and canceled some of my speaking engagements because you wanted the speaking engagements for yourself. Even if Melissa didn't tell you at the challenge, she said it all in the confessionals. And I know you watched the season you were on. So let's not play dumb, Julie, like you don't know why Melissa not mad at you. But Melissa airs it out and says why she mad. And then Danny chimes in, was like, well, hold up. What she's saying ain't false because you did the same thing to me. And you said horrible things about my sexuality. Like I'm the, what did he say? The angry or the scary gay man. And you got to think back. It's still some very homophobic people today. But 22 years ago, they were very homophobic, very open. They ain't want their kids around no gay people, you know, just craziness. So I can't even go off my notes because my notes are, I'm just writing down shady comments. So he said, you wrote something about my sexuality. So it's not too hard to believe that you wouldn't do the same thing to Melissa. And then they threw on there like, and it's a shame that the two people you sabotage is one person of color and one is gay. And she was like, oh, I never, oh, and then the white woman tears came, I never am being racist or homophobic. I don't want people to think that. Well, bitch, how can you not want people to think that if that's what you did? And then here come David or Tokyo rubbing Julie's hand. Julie, it's okay. It's okay, Julie. Get it out. Let's get it out. And so then she started off. Well, let me make sure. Yeah, because there go the Karen tears. Yeah, and I'm like, why is Julie crying? That's just what them fucking Karens do. They want to and control, report. But then as soon as you get to checking their asses and you have a valid point, oh, why are you doing this to me? Why are you all so angry with me? And I am not homophobic and I'm not racist. But bitch, ain't nobody said you was homophobic or racist. We just said the two letters you wrote happened to be for a gay man and a black woman. Now you the one who threw them other words out there. So we get the tears. Melissa, this is when Melissa said, look, Julie, I ain't got no grudge with you. I just got a boundary. And I had to write that shit down because that is so mean. And people always say, oh, you hold on to a grudge. And I'm like, I never knew how to say it. But the way Melissa said it, I'm like, that's what it is. It's not a grudge. It's a boundary. It's just that I really don't give a fuck about you no more. But I also don't want to fuck with you either. Like, I ain't gotta have no rah-rah with you, but I don't want to fool with you either. And Julie, you gotta stand in that. Now, mind you, by the end of this, Julie is sitting up here crying because these people want an apology. And she's like, well, I apologize if, and oh, I love that fucking Melissa. She said, hold up. If you gotta say if, it's not an apology. So you could keep that if it's an if. Melissa was on Julie's ass, and I loved it. And that's what them Karens don't like, it when you be on their ass and you be right. They don't like it for you to be right. Bitch, you know that ain't an apology. And she was like, well, how can I apologize? You don't even have the letter. And so they was like, oh, so since we don't have a letter, you want to deny. And so Julie's MO is somebody in her management might have wrote it. She ain't personally write it. Like, she did admit to writing something about Danny, but she said it wasn't none of what Danny said. I said, Julie wrote them fucking letters, and you can't tell me no different. She know exactly what she did. She was being a snake, and she got caught up. In her way of spinning it, instead of being a grown-ass woman, I would have had respect for Julie if she would have said, look, 22 years ago, I was young. These college engagements were the only way I was making money at the time, and I did some shady shit. I wrote some stuff about you all to get the gigs, and I was selfish, and I apologize. Like, if she would have just admitted the shit and said she was sorry, yeah, that was foul, that was dirty, but who really, like, these people don't look like they hurting for no money, so I don't think they really care about the money. It's the fact of what you did, and that you can't admit to it, and that instead of just admitting it and saying, yeah, I did some foul shit, I'm sorry, oh, well, maybe my management wrote it, and since I didn't write it and management wrote it, then I have no idea what I'm apologizing for. Well, bitch, they telling you what was in the letter. They're telling you what you need to apologize for. So what Melissa said, Melissa was like, well, since I ain't getting no apology, let me go get my chicken salad, because I ain't got time to sit here and look at these white woman tears. I'm done. I love Melissa. Like, she gave me life this episode, because she didn't give me nothing fake and nothing phony. And I love real shit. So Julie storms upstairs and like, Julie, you don't want to eat? She's like, no, I don't want to eat. I need a moment. Like, bitch, how you need a moment? How you did all this foul shit, but you need a moment? And I'm happy. I'm so happy nobody ran up there to woo, woo, woo. I'm happy nobody left that bitch cry alone by herself. Now, eventually, David went up there, and I'm still mad it had to be David. But David told Julie the truth. Julie, look, even if it was your management that wrote the letters, because there are some shady managers, and let's not pretend like management isn't getting a percentage of the gigs. So if they do something shady to get Julie more gigs, they're getting more of a percentage. I recognize that, but I still feel like Julie wrote the shit herself. But David said, even if it was management, Julie, they represent you. So you have to take ownership of that, and you need to apologize. And here Julie go, oh, I wish I could say it just like you, David. I wish I could write the words down. It says, she pretty much was telling David, I wish you can go down there and say the shit for me. Julie doesn't mean it. Whatever comes out of Julie's mouth next, I'm not going to believe, because I'm going to think she's a liar. I'm going to think it's a front for the cameras. Oh, the rest of the season look good. Oh, the rest of the season look amazing, because the end of the episode, yeah, that's the end of my notes. At the end of the episode, we see Julie tiptoeing to Melissa's room like, ooh, the big bad angry black woman is gonna yell at me. I don't like it. I don't like the optics of it. It's going to piss me off. And I liked Julie. I had to put an ED on the end of that. I liked Julie. Right now, Julie is pissing me off. I don't like all these white woman tears, especially when it's against a black woman that you done wrong. And instead of just apologizing, you want to, I guess, David, I can say exactly what you say. Let me tiptoe to Melissa. I'm going to read the bitch again next week. I hope Melissa reads her down. Let me get back to some of y'all comments, because Y'all was writing some good comments, but I couldn't focus on them because I had to get that out. I didn't even hardly look at my notes because Julie worked me, but Melissa kept her in check. She wasn't gonna let Julie's tears run off into another narrative. I knew what you was trying to do, Julie, but you ain't get me. Dabu, you said somebody owed you money from 2011. When you saw him in 2010, I felt salty. I ain't gonna lie. You ain't gonna never forget somebody owe you some money. That's why I want to be like, man, they should let this go. This was 22 years ago. But then I had to check myself. It's been some people that done me wrong, owed me money, and I let it go, but it's a boundary. It's like, you can't ask me for 2 cents. I ain't got it. Mm-mm. You do, and you feel salty, especially if they flaunting some new shit and they ain't even paid for the shit they owe you for. But people do it all the time. That's why you really shouldn't loan people money. Tell they asses to go down there and get a little payday loan and let them fuck around with that interest with somebody else. Because they'll fuck over your money all the time, but they ain't gonna fuck with them people down at the payday loan place. That's what I tell you. You need to go on down there and get your little payday loan, pay them that 30% interest, and I bet you pay their asses back. I bet you they'll pay it back. At the end of their season, they were both going to move to LA. Yeah, that's what they said, but that's when Julie started being shady. My thing is, she took that job, but that was money. The stuff on their names after 3 months of being friends, knowing they didn't have money like that. I don't think it was about the money either. I think especially for Danny, it was that she said derogatory stuff about him and used his sexuality as a weapon. Like, yeah, he's going to mentor these kids, but he's the scary gay man. She probably said some shit like he might touch him or something. People did some ignorant shit back then. Ain't nobody really said what was said, so I'm just speculating. But she probably said some fucked up shit like that about Danny. And I don't really think it's the money with Melissa. It was Melissa is hurt over the friendship. Because if I'm getting ready to move to LA with you, and we getting ready to start our young lives in LA, doing these gigs, setting up, a little bit, I'm gonna be pissed if a bitch screw up my money too. That's why Melissa voted her ass off first on that challenge. And I remember when I watched that season of the challenge, I was like, damn, Melissa is cold hearted. And I didn't understand why she was doing that to Julie, because I thought they was cool. Now I get it. Now I completely get it. Back in the day, to throw stuff on people's character, and yes, he's a scary gay man in 2000. Yeah, that's a lot to do back in the 2000s. And really today, it's still some ignorant people around there today. It wasn't just about their money, but Julie said nasty things about Danny being gay and Melissa being black. Now, I know she said nothing about Melissa being black. I thought she just undercut Melissa's price and said Melissa didn't sign autographs. She was mean to her fans and she charged too much. And Melissa might charge 10, but I'll do it for 5. That's what I felt like she did to Melissa. But I didn't know what she said about her being black. But knowing if Julie can say it about one, she can say it about the other. And mind you, I believe Julie wrote the letters and sent it. I think she trying to play dumb to save face. And she think just because she dumb, we dumb too, and we gonna believe her lies. I'm so happy the way Melissa checked her. Yeah, she guilty and she know it. She guilty and she know it. You said what got me is the fact that Melissa and Julie went back and forth, and Julie was like, I wrote no letters, knowing she wrote one. Right. Julie was getting ready to die on that sword. Like, I ain't wrote no letters. And Danny was like, hold up, I know for sure you wrote one. And she was like, oh yeah, I wrote one letter about Danny. Yes. That's how people be on the bullshit. I was hoping, because Melissa said somewhere that somebody sent her the email. I wish Melissa would have had the fucking receipt. That would have been epic. I wish one of them would have had that letter from 22 years ago. I'm like, well, bitch, who wrote this? But I agree with you, Eric. I can't stand a fake apology because whatever Julie gonna do next week, tiptoeing into Melissa's room is gonna be fake. Because if a grown man has to tell you how to apologize, you don't mean it. You don't mean it. If it's not an apology. Right. You are the common denominator in this situation. Your agent is not sitting up here writing all these letters. No. No. Julie was raised as a racist. I didn't know that. But they usually every season have somebody who was raised in a racist environment to see how they act on the show and see if they change. They get a change of heart once they're introduced to black and gay people, or do they stay racist? Now that one, the anti, or he not anti-abstinence, he's pro-abstinence. He still looked like he got a problem with gay people, and it looked like he gonna have to get checked in some future episodes, because it seems like a producer asked him, well, do you still feel the same way about homosexuality? And he was like, okay, let's cut the interview. Bitch, that means you still feel the same way, and you just don't want to say on camera. I also love how later in the season, Melissa went, we're talking about racism, you shouldn't feel comfortable. I agree. I can't wait to see the rest of this season. It looks like they're going to have some great conversations. It looked like Julie gets so fucking drunk, she fall out of an Uber and bust the shit out of her head, and then try to say David hit her or something like that, or ask David, did you touch me? Or like, it looked like Julie about to get, it looks like this is the season where Julie is going to get red. It looked like Matt, the abstinence guy, is going to get red. And they're going to revisit being gay in the military. And it looks like Danny's boyfriend is going to do a surprise pop-up and actually show his face. I'm here for it. I'm here. That wasn't any shade. I'm just saying I'm really looking forward to the rest of this homecoming. It's a hit show. Like, I really like it's a hit for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you all, because we watched it back in the day, and it's like nostalgia. Like, we want to see what these people are doing now. And it's not that I want to see people have beef, but can they have closure? And I don't think Danny and Melissa are ever going to get the closure they need from Julie, because Julie isn't real. She's not real. Yeah, she's from Utah. She gonna talk about leaving the Mormon church. I don't know shit about the Mormon church, but I guess I'll get to learn about why she left. Right, she gonna accuse David of something. Like, I'm assuming we all see Julie bloop, bust her head on the ground, and it seemed like the next day, maybe because David was tending to her, she gonna accuse a black man of something. And ooh, the checking she's gonna get, I'm gonna save it for when I see it. But oh, Julie, you will be checked when I see it. Jamie and Julie were insensitive to the black culture. Julie was calling black people colored, and those people she was on MTV. It's amazing. Memory is really amazing. Like, some YouTubers, some of y'all, they could remember shit that happened in, like, when we talk about the challenge and Survivor and stuff, some YouTubers can remember that person got voted out. It was that scheme, this. My ass can't be remembering the shit. I didn't know Julie was doing that. I wouldn't even have liked her, and I used to like Julie. Oh, they were racist and homophobic. I mean, I believe it. That ain't a stretch. It's probably a lot of people who have racist and homophobic parents from back in my day. I was born in 78. So the parents of people born around that time, and I feel like they're all around my age, a lot of them have racist and homophobic parents. Now, my parent, well, of course, my parents aren't racist. We're black. But I've had to check. I don't want to put my parents' business in the street because they aren't homophobic, but I think just at that time, they would say certain words that people in the LGBT community today would not appreciate them saying. But back in the 50s and the 60s, those were the words that they said, and it was okay. Like, probably like how saying colored back in the day, black people didn't mind being called colored, but you damn sure can't call me colored because it will be on and popping. So it's not hard for me to believe that Julie grew up that way, especially in some Mormon church. I don't want to say especially the Mormon church because I don't know shit about the Mormon church, so I don't want to make it seem like they all racist and homophobic, but I ain't heard too much good about them neither. From looking at them Salt Lake City wives, I ain't heard too much good about it either. Let's watch the original season. Let's all play it on our headphones at our desk if you can, because I don't know if everybody work at a desk, but if you can, let's catch up so we could watch this homecoming and be really refreshed. We gonna watch it, Inga. I agree. I want to know everything that happened. It's season 9 on Paramount Plus. We gonna watch it. We gonna watch it. I might go back and watch Hawaii and Seattle because my messy ass just want to see Irene get slapped again. That's a mess. That is a mess. Yes, we gonna all rewatch it together. And well, I ain't doing no review, but we just all gonna rewatch it together. So when we watch and review this, we'll be refreshed. But we ain't doing no separate reviews on the rewatch. That's a lot. That's a lot. But that's all I have to give you all. Thank you for being patient with me. It did take me a minute to watch episode 1, but once I got into episode 1, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm gonna be watching it on time for sure. Come on Wednesday night or Thursday night. Whatever night it comes on, Homecoming will be a part of O Stella, which is the Friday night show. So it won't be a separate review. So on Friday nights, X on the beach, I don't know, it's kind of boring. So Homecoming might take X on the beach's spot. I might do a quick little five minutes with X on the beach if something pops off. But for the most part, it'll be Homecoming and Survivor 42, and then whatever little debates we want to have about our shows of the week. So that's where Homecoming will sit. And I know y'all will be back on Fridays because we all do O Stella on Fridays. It come on Wednesday. Okay, good. It'll be a part of O Stella with Survivor. You don't think Seattle is on Paramount Plus? Probably because of the slap. They really took in a lot of the violence. Like if it was kind of violent, they don't like to show it. They don't have Hawaii on Paramount Plus, I guess because Ruthie was drunk. I don't know. She did go to rehab though. I don't understand why they wouldn't have Hawaii on there. Is Kelly gonna have a storyline? I don't think I saw. I don't know. Kelly's storyline is that she married somebody famous that I don't know. Now, if y'all know who Scott Wolf is, put it in the chat. I have no clue who that is, but that's Kelly's husband. And I guess once we do the rewatch, because we're going to rewatch it, season 9, then we could figure out if Kelly was involved in any drama to have something to talk about on this homecoming. But it seemed like it's going to be everybody lighting into Julie's ass, and then they're going to get into Matt's ass a little bit, and then they probably get into David's ass since he was an asshole. But he seems like such a levelly spirited headed person now, where he's just so with the energy, with the earth, that even if he was an asshole 22 years ago, you probably already forgiven him. So I don't know if they're gonna give David too much. Please stop playing that "Come On Be My Baby Tonight" song, because that shit is in my brain. It's like candy. It's embedded in your motherfucking brain, bitch. Please stop playing that. Please. Scott was on Party of 5 on Fox. Okay, that's why I don't know him, because I ain't never watched that show. So that's why I don't know her husband. Is that his only claim to fame? What was Party of Five? I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't care. But congratulations, girl. I really am excited about this season. I have never even watched Real World like that. Yeah, I'm missing out on a couple of seasons. Like, I think around the time when Wes and CT and Bananas were on the Real World, I didn't watch because I don't remember them being on the Real World. I just only know them from the challenge. So there's a lot of Real World that I could catch up on. So they have quite a few missing. That's unfortunate. It's probably all the ones we want to watch. But maybe I might go back and figure out what season Bananas was on and CT, like some of the big challenge people, figure out what season of the Real World they were on and watch that so I could see how they got to be on the challenge. But Kelly's husband, the looking eyes, or are you looking like he was on TV? Kelly didn't have a story 20 years ago. Oh, well, she damn sure ain't gonna have one now. Okay, well, she just here to give us some fashion because Kelly looked good in that outfit she had on. So I'm here for the fashion. Bananas was on Key West. Okay, let me put it down in my notes because I'm gonna watch it. Bananas, Key West, 17. Because I didn't watch that. I don't recall Key West. CT Real World season was crazy. Okay, I gotta look. Oh, CT was in Paris. Paris? They had the Real World in Paris? And he was acting the fool overseas? Mm-mm. CT was Paris. I gotta watch that. She stayed in the house most of the time. I just watched Key West and Paula was a hot mess. I can't stand Tyler, everything about him. Oh, so Paula and Tyler was on there too. Oh, I gotta watch that. And Tyler. I didn't know all of them was on that. Yeah, CT was in Paris. The one with Bananas was Key West. That was a great one. And it's on Paramount Plus. Thank you, Inga. So I got a lot of stuff to watch in the office because I'm probably gonna be working in the office for it's the summertime. I like going in the office. Gas prices came down just a little bit, not a lot, but it came down enough for me to drive into work every day. And so I guess I got a lot of stuff I could watch while I'm working. Thank you for that. I appreciate some good suggestions for while I'm at work, but I am tired. I'm about to let this go. They had me working hard for the money today, y'all. I couldn't even take a break. I do let's break because I had a couple of topics. I'll save it for tomorrow. I was working so hard. When I looked up, it was like 12:45. My stomach didn't growl. I didn't yawn. Nothing alerted me that it's almost or it's past lunchtime. I was just working my ass off. So I am tired, but I will try to do a break tomorrow. I got a couple of little topics and we'll get into it. CT and Adam was fighting. I thought they were fighting on the challenge. So CT and Adam were on the Real World together too. You would think Adam would have learned if he was fighting them out there in Paris to stop messing with him over there on the challenge. I ain't gonna blame Adam for all that. CT had a temper. You're glad that what? Oh, you trying to say my name? That Angie earns your coin. I do be earning my coin. They trust me. My job ain't paying me to sit around for nothing. They had your girl working, and I am tired. Well, it's mostly because it's not that bad of a job. It's really not a bad job. I love my job. It's just that someone is on vacation, so I am doing two jobs while they're on vacation, and I am tired. Like I'm like, girl, when you coming back to work? Cause I'm tired. But that's it. But yeah, I'm getting ready to break for the evening. I'm getting ready to let me tell y'all, do y'all watch Snowfall? Don't put no spoilers. But I love the show Snowfall. It's probably one of the only shows me and my husband watch together. And I'm at the point where I have threatened to like if we don't watch the last 2 episodes of Snowfall tonight, I'm watching them without you. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to go put my pajamas on, relax, maybe get me a glass of wine, and watch Snowfall. So have a good time. You all enjoy your evening too. Thanks for the love. Thanks for being patient for me with this review. Like this video, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And I will see y'all Friday for Stella. And of course, you might see me a couple of times this week for a break. Deuces. See you all later. Have a good night. Bye.